Elon Musk has a plan for the city of Austin, Texas, and he did not come to town for a hostile takeover or a revitalization. He is there to build something that the world has never seen before. Some people would call it a utopia. Others consider it a nightmare. What we are really looking at is the future, at least according to the mind of Elon Musk. Now, this all began properly in the spring of 2020. California officials ordered Tesla to close their Fremont manufacturing plant due to the spread of COVID-19, and Elon refused. This was a pivotal time for the fledgling electric car maker. First deliveries of the brand new Model Y crossover had just begun on March 16th. As the whole world was beginning to slow down, Tesla was ramping up, but they were encountering a lot of friction on the way. By May 2020, Elon was suing the state of California. He wrote on Twitter at the time, "Frankly, this is the final straw. Tesla will now move its HQ and future programs to Texas/Nevada immediately." For Musk, this was a pretty drastic change of direction. After leaving South Africa at the age of 18, Elon made a couple of brief stopovers in Ontario, Canada, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, before arriving in California. It was 1995, and he was just 24 years old. From there, we kinda all know what happened. Elon made a lot of money, bought a lot of property, and founded a lot of new companies, all in the state of California. Elon could have been a poster child for the innovative, tech-focused entrepreneurial spirit of Silicon Valley, but it wouldn't last. In an interview with Site Selection magazine, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said that the discussion between himself and Elon Musk began in spring 2020. The first step would be to bring Tesla's Gigafactory to Austin, but Governor Abbott claims that even in these early days, Musk had a larger vision that he wanted to achieve for the future in Texas. We know that Elon Musk can be emotional and impulsive when he loses his temper.
Blackmail me with advertising? Blackmail me with money? Go yourself.
His biographer, Walter Isaacson, coined that as demon mode. But there was more to this transition from California to Texas than just spiting his perceived enemies. At his core, Elon is an analytical mind. Texas presented logical benefits that would never be available on the densely populated West Coast. There was plenty of open land to build on that allowed operations to scale up in size. There was less traffic to deal with, and that meant people could move around faster and more efficiently. The houses were more affordable, and that would help to draw in young talent to the company. The taxes were lower, which in turn lowers operating cost, and of course, there are fewer regulations in Texas. At Tesla's annual shareholder meeting on October 7th, 2021, held at the freshly completed Gigafactory in Austin, Texas, Elon made the move official. Tesla's official headquarters was leaving Palo Alto and Silicon Valley behind. But the Gigafactory was just the first step. Elon still had 4 more companies that were left behind in California, but not for long. The Boring Company would be the next to arrive, and this is where we need to introduce a new location, Bastrop, Texas. It's a suburb of Austin, just east of the Tesla Gigafactory, and on a stretch of rural road along the bank of the Colorado River, the Boring Company has set up shop. 2 years ago, this was a cow field, and now it's becoming Hyperloop Plaza, the center of research and development for Elon Musk's fastest growing company. Moving the Boring Company headquarters out of California was less of a dramatic move, as the tunneling operation had essentially been founded in the SpaceX parking lot at Hawthorne, a suburb of LA. It was past due to leave the nest, and a company that was built to dig needs room to dig. But that's not even the most interesting thing that's going on around Hyperloop Plaza. This is also the location of Elon's much-hyped, futuristic utopia city of Snailbrook. It's been said that the town has room for 110 houses, 2 warehouses, a pool, sports facility, and putting green. It's also been said that the design for Snailbrook was influenced by discussions between Musk, his ex-girlfriend Grimes, Kanye West, and Kanye's personal architect. And there is the beginning of a community taking shape at the Boring Company site. It looks like this. To my eye, more like a really clean trailer park than the city of the future, but early days. The Boring Company does also have its own community center. It's called the Boring Bodega. Across the road, the Boring Company has a new neighbor, SpaceX. This gigantic warehouse is the location where the company has been manufacturing their Starlink internet terminals. Not the satellites, the home dishes. And in September, SpaceX announced that there had been 1 million Starlink kits manufactured in just 10 months of operation. SpaceX has been in Texas for a long time. This is kind of where Elon Musk started putting down roots in the state, not in Austin, but 350 miles south in the village of Boca Chica, where SpaceX started buying up land all the way back in 2014. Now, the company didn't appear to be doing much with it until August 2019, when this strange little rocket called Starhopper lifted off for the first time, and that was the beginning of the Starship program and what would eventually become the SpaceX headquarters of Starbase. Why is that not in Austin? Well, easy answer being you can't launch rockets from Austin. You need to be on the coast and as close to the equator as physically possible, which is exactly what Boca Chica provides. This is another location where it's been said that Elon Musk was building his own town, in Boca Chica. There was a bit of a head start. About 36 ranch houses had been built on 2 streets that were each about a quarter mile in length. SpaceX bought out as many of them as they could as Starship activity began to ramp up, but that wasn't nearly enough living space. So, just like at the Boring Company, SpaceX set up their own employee community. This one is a little trailer park. There are some new houses under construction in Boca Chica, but they're pretty big, definitely not high-density living. You can tell that SpaceX has basically taken full control of the area. They even changed the street names. We have E. Johns Drive, Meme Street, and LBJ Boulevard, as in Lyndon B. Johnson, who was president when NASA landed on the moon. There's a pub that's exclusive to SpaceX, and the company also built a private school down the road called Ad Astra for employees' children. That is also not the only school that Elon Musk might attach his name to. There is a tax filing from December 2023 that shows Elon is planning to found a university in Austin. This is being done through one of Musk's charities, the Foundation, and public records show that Elon gifted $100 million specifically to create and launch a primary and secondary school in Austin focused on teaching science, technology, engineering, and math. Once it is fully operational, the filing states the school will focus on creating a university. Now, jumping back to the corporate world, we can talk about the newest Musk arrival, Neuralink. In July 2024, news emerged that Elon's brain implant company had begun construction on a $14 million 3-story office building and manufacturing space. It's just east of the city, kind of halfway in between the Tesla Gigafactory and the Boring Company Bastrop site, also located on the bank of the same Colorado River as those 2 existing projects. And there are 37 acres of land owned by Neuralink Corp, more than enough to expand in the future. Now, Neuralink is still headquartered in Fremont, California. It's a facility that has been home to a mix of pigs, sheep, and monkeys who were involved in the early testing phase of the Neuralink implant. Theoretically, now that the company has moved on to human testing, they are probably going to be much less invested in keeping all of these animals, which will probably free up the company to make a new start at this Austin property. And then there's X. Now this is a weird one. In July 2024, Elon Musk posted on X that XHQ will move to Austin. Of course, X was once Twitter and was not founded by Elon Musk, but was acquired in a hostile takeover a couple of years ago. And that acquisition included the company's head office in San Francisco, which inevitably led to Elon Musk moving back to California from Texas in order to reshape the social media company in his own image. One of the first things that Elon did with Twitter was fire about 80% of the existing workforce. So you have to imagine that office space is pretty much empty, which is probably weird. So it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to hang on to the likely very expensive property. Elon's disagreement with California politics, and particularly Governor Gavin Newsom, has only grown over time. Elon also said he's had enough of dodging gangs of violent drug addicts just to get in and out of the building. Now, you might be noticing that none of these Musk companies that are moving to Austin are actually in Austin. They are all kind of on the outskirts, and in most cases, that makes sense. The Boring Company needs room to dig, Tesla needs room to build 1 million cars and robots and whatever else. Neuralink might have to continue some amount of animal keeping as they progress into new devices and implant technologies. SpaceX needs to launch rockets, but of all things, you'd think that the head office for a website would be right at home in Austin's downtown core. But no. All signs point to the new X headquarters being located in Bastrop, and probably in the same location as the Boring Company Hyperloop Plaza. There are probably two ways to look at this. It's either a case of Elon Musk becoming increasingly reclusive and secretive with his operations, or it could have something to do with Elon's plan to make X more than just a social media app. It's going to be the everything app, and it's also intricately linked with Elon's XAI venture, and we know that generative AI requires massive amounts of computing power to make it work. We've already seen Elon build the world's largest AI data center in Memphis, Tennessee. That's going to power an updated version of Grok AI that might be released as early as the end of this year. But that doesn't mean that Elon won't build an even bigger and more powerful data center in Bastrop, one that can propel XAI towards their ultimate goal of decoding the mystery behind life, the universe, and everything. And I think that's the real reason behind this all. Sure, politics have always played a role. They play an even bigger role now, and of course, no one wants to live in a city that's full of crime and homelessness, but the important thing that Texas offers Elon and his companies is room to grow. Efficient, affordable, sustainable growth. And that might be something that California offered in the past, but it's not the case anymore. So with that in mind, even though we've already seen Musk do a lot in Texas, we can say for sure that this is only the beginning of the beginning. It's only getting bigger from here.